I fully appreciate that activities of this nature are not government activities. They are social, philanthropic interventions that we make. And for the avoidance of doubt, Mrs. Musalia has been at this process, whether in government, whether I was in government or whether I was not in government. And we shall not stop supporting people in any part of the country through charitable efforts. But I am very clear that it shall not be at the expense of the exchequer. Now, there are some cases that you say were dropped. I'll be very careful here because this is an independent office, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. I'm not privy to the details in the files that are before him. So if there are any issues, his office remains the best office to be able to respond to those particular issues. I can only make comments that will be viewed as second-guessing or presumptuous. So it would be better that at an appropriate time, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions will handle that directly. The same goes for the EACC. The EACC will also explain itself when the time comes. I don't know if Ogola and others, if you will go back in history, because that one I know is safe territory, I can talk to it without difficulty, that the retired president, I think in his first term, either his first term or second term, he went to Parliament and he spoke to Parliament and tabled a report about EACC cases and when they're supposed to be done, when they're not supposed to be done, and all that. It was, if you go back to the Hansard, you will see that report. And if I recollect, that created a very big problem for him because it was perceived that he had interfered with the mandate of the EACC. And indeed, some of the cases that he cited, the lawyers, who are very bright, went to court and said that there was no due process, no free process, and some of those cases collapsed. So it is better that independent agencies like the EACC handle the matter independently, and from where I stand, it would not be prudent for me to comment on that. The issue of the judiciary is the same. We may not like what the judges have ruled, but it is their domain. It is a constitutional position. And they are there to make their decisions. They may be in our favor, they may be against us. But where we are, as a country that respects the rule of law, we have no option but to accept the decisions of the court. And more so when it was the last court, the highest court, making a decision. So I'm not a lawyer, but if there was any reason that somebody wanted to review, I think the lawyers can argue if there are ways of seeking a review over something like that. I'm not an expert in that field, so I cannot speak to it. But we cannot run away from the fact that we need to respect the constitutional lanes as they have been provided for. I am a cabinet secretary, properly vetted by Parliament, ratified by Parliament, then gazetted and formally given my letter of appointment by the President of the Republic of Kenya in accordance with the Constitution. Mr. Ogola, I would be happy to serve you when you come to my office if the need arises. So, the final question that I want to put to Miriam. I remember you, Miriam. We were with you in some of the various fora where you stood out very honorably on behalf of the people with disabilities. And I think your message is clear that the issue of dealing with those challenges need to be accelerated so that we don't use the word progressive, but we just look at it and say, let us implement and let us do it very fast. Thank you. I think that was my final bit, but I want to say to the Vice Chairman and to the facilitators, asante sana. Thank you for your reactions. Thank you for your comments. This has been very enriching. And God willing, if my health is perfect, I hope I will be here again with you on another occasion. Asante sana, and God bless you all.
Thank you. I think it deserves a much better hand clap more than that we've done. We have
fuel subsidy. Expensive. Requiring that the government must set aside 20 billion shillings every month to subsidize fuel. But who was really the beneficiary of that subsidy? Was it the ordinary person, or was it a few players in the industry? So one of the difficult decisions that the government had to make was to terminate that subsidy, because it just meant more and more taxation to the Kenyan. It was not sustainable. It was not sustainable. So the government had to cut back and say, we cannot continue. So let us stop the hemorrhage. Let us stop the subsidy, because we cannot sustain it. And there are so many other things that we'll bring out. Maybe they'll come out in the interaction process. So when we are in Parliament, the county governments, the assemblies at the county level, when you are putting up legislation, ask yourself, does it contribute to growth? Does it contribute to equity? Is it sustainable? When you go to the National Assembly and to the Senate, the same question, the same rule of thumb must be on the table. And then we can know whether we are making headway. Now, there are so many issues that we can talk about. And one might say we want to engage in a blame game and so forth. But I want us to just say, maybe I'll hear out the questions and I'll try and respond to some of them effectively. But where we are, ladies and gentlemen, and every honest Kenyan will face this fact. We are not where we are overnight. In terms of the high cost of living, in terms of the cost of food, in terms of the shortage of resources to our universities. For the first time, we are hearing that universities, public universities, are unable to function. They are going bust. We did not get there overnight. It is not instant coffee. We are there because of a series of cumulative commissions and omissions that have accumulated and brought us to where we are. We did not just wake up to find ourselves in that situation. Something was not being done right over a period of time. So incrementally, this has put us where we are. So my fellow Kenyans, again, incrementally, we must work to get us out of where we are. We must fix the debt. We must rationalize the taxes. We must look at our priorities. We must figure out the resources, the meager resources that we have. Where are we directing them? We then equally must figure out what are the new areas that we can bring on the table that can help spur the economy. Can we do something in mining? Can we do something in the marine economy? Can we improve on our agricultural practices so that we can move in a different direction? The other critical factor, as we collectively hold our hands, each other, to try and get out of this hole, is that there are certain factors that are with us The drought is not a joke. The drought that we are facing as Kenyans is forcing serious reallocation of resources. Over 2 million heads of livestock have perished. That's billions of shillings gone. The climate change effect is with us. We are seeing it. We have to start clawing back and regaining and taking corrective measures. And ladies and gentlemen, Kenyans, these solutions are not like instant coffee. Don't let any politician, Musalia Mudavadi included, cheat you that you have instant coffee solutions to the problems that we are facing. It is going to be commitment over a period of time to turn things round. And sometimes some of the factors that are in play are not even of your own doing. You are Kenyans who are here with me. We have nothing to do with the battle in Ukraine and Russia. It's a battle several miles away. But what has it done? That battle has disrupted the global supply chains. Shipping has become costly. Insurers cannot take or provide cover for some of the ships that are supposed to go and pick cargo in that belt because it is too high a risk. And if they do, the insurance goes higher. Fertilizer is obtained in some of those belts. That war has disrupted the supply chains which are beginning to feed into the global economy. And in the process, also affecting us. So here we are. Here we are. I tell you for free. It is not the number of demonstrations we shall hold. It is what are going to be the sound policies we shall put on the table that will reverse this process. And that is the reality. So I stand here to talk freely to you as a Kenyan, to get ideas from you, and to tell you that, my brothers and sisters, it's not going to be a one-day recovery program. It is going to take several months, weeks, months, and some years of pounding in the right direction for us to turn things around. We are in government. We came in with a promise that we want to anchor our economy in putting more weight in bringing equity and hope on those who are downtrodden, hence the bottom-up economic approach. That is what we sold. We are not going to veer from it. But to fund the bottom-up economic approach, we must also have a sound economy that will enable us to generate resources to direct at those targeted areas, whether in the rural area or whether in the urban areas. And we are walking a tightrope. We have to do it without being able to tax too much, because we are in a corner. we're in a corner. So we have to work hard and to be rational and to dialogue. And even in the process of competition, let us do our competitive politics, but let it be competition on the basis of ideas and opinions. If you can persuade me that your idea is better, that is okay. Then that is what we will go with. When Kenyans voted in 2022, they voted for the Kenya Kwanza coalition because they bought more into the Kenya Kwanza ideology and blueprint. And they made their decision. And those who had doubts, the Constitution gave them latitude and room to go up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court made a decision. And that chapter was closed. So, even if you now continue moving the streets of Nairobi, telling us that you want the servers open, they will not reverse that decision made by Kenyans at that time. The best you can do is build on your own, rethink your strategy, and see if you can persuade Kenyans in 2027. That is where we should be going. But the reality of the matter is that we, as a Kenyan nation today, are going through a difficult economic time. Some of the issues self-inflicted as a Kenyan people, and some of it extraneous factors that are impacting on us. And I've given you the example of the battle in Russia, Ukraine. Those are extraneous issues. And then there are others which are human-made, man-made, the climatic change effects. Different contributions by different players globally, but they are systematically impacting on us. But there is hope. There is hope if there is logical collaboration. There is hope if there is robust and genuine competition. And there is hope if we can underpin and sustain our democracy. That is where the solutions will be. So I think I'll end there and wait to hear if there are some questions, reactions, criticisms, as long as you don't throw a bottle at me. I am ready to have the conversation. Thank you.
Wonderful. Can we give Mheshimiwa a better clap? Thank you, sir. I can confirm to you that there is no one who is going to throw any bottle, whether physical bottle or invisible, none. Allow me, His Excellency, to recognize His Excellency, the former governor of Makueni, Professor Kivuta Kibwana. Very well. Allow me again, because of a lot of pressure from ANC, I've been told I must recognize the chairman of ANC. There is a way you guys, you know how to do it, so I have to do it that way. Thank you very much. Therefore, having heard His Excellency, the speech, which is very informed, very candid, and I think he has spoken his heart regarding the state of the nation as of now. May I therefore give an opportunity to fellow Kenyans to be able to interact with His Excellency Musalia Mudavadi on the topical issues that he has been able to address today, and perhaps if there is another issue that you think you need to have. This is the beauty of having a dialogue. So you lift up your hand. I think I will pick a couple of 5, then I will give Mheshimiwa to pick. And I've been a speaker before, so whoever catches the eye of the speaker shall be able to carry the day. So somebody has carried my day there, so please, that is number 1. the lady here number 2, the lady here number 3, and the gentleman there number 4, and the gentleman here number 5. Then we'll come for another round. Thank you. So could you give the microphone, please? Please give it the microphone here. Yeah, where's the microphone? Yeah, give it to the lady. Gentleman, you need to come close. Please, you need to come close. Okay. Please, short and brief.
Okay, good day. My name is Miss Ndoto, and I'm a tax producer. I produce the next taxpayer. We, the youth, 75% of the population, produce the next taxpayer. But why should we when our interests are not being met? What will my children eat? In China, the youth have started a movement called Lying Flat or Let It Rot. Chinese youth are saying that they are the last generation. They're not producing the next taxpayer. And we've established here that a government's only form of income is taxes. So if we don't produce the next taxpayer, can we systematically destabilize the government?
Thank you. The lady here, please. Excuse me, the lady here. The lady here. Yes. Here.
Good morning, everyone. Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary. First and foremost, my name is Ashura Michael, an advisor at the National Youth Council. I'll be straight to the point about the economy of the country. We have an issue first, number one, with an issue of statistics arising from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. They actually underestimated the number of persons with disabilities. I don't know the modalities that they use to do that, because now resources are being allocated to different categories of people. So we lag behind because statistically we are not proportionate. So as persons with disabilities in this country, we are really suffering. And then secondly, in the Constitution, Article 54, 2A talks about progressive employment, 5% for persons with disabilities, but all along, including the current government, 0.0001% inclusion for persons with disabilities. As far as employment is concerned, the cost of living is actually going high. And you see, without persons with disabilities, if they are left behind, then we are not going to achieve the opportunities. Give us the opportunities so that we cope up with the cost of living as well.
Thank you very much. The gentleman here. Then I will go to Amon from Alliance High. Amon, where are you? Amon. Very good.
My name's Stephen Lijodi. I'm a small trader in CBD. I'm a true testimony of bottom-up economy. My main concern comes to the cargo consolidation, that the KRA brought a new tax system that we shall be paying. We have been paying 200 shillings per kilo, and now they are going to do valuation per product. China Square, which took the mall at KU, and of late we are being told they are coming to open another mall in town. Is the government protecting the local trader, or is just concerned about foreigners coming in? Another thing is about the influx of hawkers, and that message should go direct to our governor, Sakaja. Bringing in more hawkers in town is killing traders who pay rent and who pay business permit. And then another concern is about tenders, government tenders. There is a policy that the current governor brought in about the 30% AGPO to youth, women, and the people with disability. But if you do current research in government, you will realize those people are not getting those tenders. Those tenders are going to a particular community because they know how to produce chai. Chai.
Thank you.
Please, Cabinet Secretary, protect the local traders and Kenyans.
Good stuff. Thank you, Amon.
Good morning. Allow me to be very brief. My question is relevant to the theme, not about the economy. My question is on the narrative of democracy. Now, as the youth, or at least speaking from the perspective of my generation, there's a lot of negative information that we consume, about the state of democracy in our country in particular. A lot of negative information about violence that comes after disputing ballots, a lot of politicization of that's being brought into the church or things of the like, just a lot of feuds that are being brought to something that should be clean and that something should be able to serve society. So my question is it a concern of your government and of your office in particular that you should regulate the kind of narrative of democracy that we the youth are consuming, so that we are not able to perpetuate it when we are in power, when we are in your office? And if I may, one slight concern for the Prime Cabinet Secretary. You mentioned something about the government not being able to pay for everything. Well, if we do not have money, then is the solution to debate motions in Parliament about increasing salaries? Is it about creating offices with no clear mandate? If I may, just a bit, creating offices with no clear mandate for which the people who are occupying them, their salaries are being paid by the 75% of the youth or 75% of the population who are taxpayers. So tell me, if we are going to proceed with omissions and commissions, why are we not considering the youth who are giving us this money, the few that we have, in order to create a better society for Kenyans at large? Thank you very much.
Very good, very good, very good. Bwana Prime Minister, you a bright Cabinet Secretary, you can be assured that the future is safe. With that kind of mentality, the future is safe. There is the last gentleman here. The last gentleman here. Please give the microphone. Be very. And as we give him, today we are blessed to have a host of professors. Another professor is in the house. The immediate former governor of West Pokot, Lonya himself, Professor Lonya. And of course, you know your narratives. I don't want to do that. We will do that after this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. My name is Musalia. I'm a Danish Youth Board sounding member representing Northern Kenya. My question is on pending bills and on-source revenue at the county level. And I will take your theme on sustainability. The Controller of Budget report shows that 370 billion were allocated to counties for financial year 2021-2022. Out of these 370, 151 went into pending bills. This tells you already, even before the money gets there, there is a few or limited allocation to recurrent and, more importantly, development expenditure. So my question